in a kingdom nestled beside a great river. There lived a merchant named Veron. Veron was, by all accounts, the most successful man in the land. His warehouses were heavy with silk and spice. His vaults were overflowing with coin. He possessed not merely a house, but a sprawling esteta labyrinth of gardens, marble halls, and shaded courtyards. The people called him Lord Veron, and they envied his great fortune, believing him to be the freest man alive, unburdened by want. Yet, those close to Veron noticed a strange shadow falling over his life. As his possessions grew, so too did his anxiety. He walked the grounds of his estate, not in peace, but in constant vigilance. He saw a shadow where there was no thief. He heard a whisper where there was only the wind. Every new ship arriving in the harbor brought him not joy, but a fresh wave of fear of loss. You see, the truth of possession is this: when you acquire an object, you do not simply own it. You acquire responsibility for it. You acquire the time and effort required to protect it, to ensure it, to maintain its value. When Veron bought a new piece of land, his spirit did not expand. His consciousness contracted to guard that new boundary. He did not own his wealth owned him. This is the great paradox. We seek material goods to gain comfort and freedom. Yet, what we truly gain is the invisible weight of maintenance and the fear of forfeiture. One morning, Veron was overseeing the packing of a great caravan. He was irritable, shouting commands, when he noticed a simple, barefoot sage resting beneath an old banyan tree at the edge of his property. The sage possessed nothing but the robe on his back and a wooden bowl. Intrigued and annoyed by the sage's obvious contentment, Veron approached him. "You look peaceful," Veron scoffed, "but you have nothing. I, the owner of all this." He swept his hand across his estate. "I am powerful, yet I have no peace. Tell me, old man, what is the secret of your freedom?" The sage opened his eyes, which were clear and deep as mountain springs. He smiled gently. "My lord," the sage said, "you ask of freedom, but you define yourself by your chains. For me, freedom is simple. If I were to stand up and walk away right now, I would leave nothing behind, and therefore there is nothing for me to fear losing." He continued, "But you, Lord Veron, when you wish to move, you cannot. You are anchored by your inventory, weighted down by your marble, bound by your contracts. Your great wealth is not an asset. It is a liability to your spirit. Every object you cling to creates a small, insistent vibration of anxiety in your soul. This vibration is the ego confirming its own fragile existence through external things. The sage had exposed the raw nerve of Veron's life. Veron realized that the moment he acquired his first great possession, he inadvertently placed a limit on his inner space. His mind, which should have been free to contemplate truth and wisdom, was instead perpetually occupied by inventory and defense. This ancient wisdom does not command poverty. It demands non-attachment. It is not about the quantity of things you possess, but the degree to which they possess you. To be truthfully free is to understand that you are not defined by what you hold in your hands, but by what you hold in your consciousness. The practice of Aparigraha, non-possessiveness, is the spiritual art of acknowledging the transient nature of all things. It is recognizing that life is an endless flow, and that to clutch too tightly to any single element of the flow is to block the current. When you refuse to identify with your belongings, your titles, your achievements, even your past failures, the grip of the ego loosens. The fear of loss dissipates because, deep down, you know the self cannot be lost. Lord Varan took the sage's words to heart. He did not instantly divest himself of his holdings, for that would simply be trading one attachment for another. Instead, he began a slow, deliberate inner shift. He started with the smallest possession, an ornate writing desk he seldom used. He gave it away, not with sacrifice, but with a sense of release. He watched his consciousness. The next morning, he noticed a tiny expansion, a fraction of a second, when his mind was not guarding the desk. He continued this process not just with physical things, but with his self-image. He stopped clinging to the identity of the richest merchant. He began to view his resources not as personal fortifications, but as energy passing through him, which he could direct toward the well-being of the village. As he let go of the need to own, his inner burdens lightened, his eyes grew clearer. The shadows he once saw were merely illusions cast by his own fear. This is the great lesson. The truly wealthy person is not the one with the most assets, but the one with the fewest attachments. True wealth is an inexhaustible inner resource, the peace that comes from knowing who you are, independent of any external factor. It is the clarity of consciousness unclouded by the dust of desire. So, we ask ourselves, what is possessing me today? Is it a goal, an old resentment, a belief about my own limitations? Freedom is not found in accumulation. Freedom is found in renunciation, the act of willingly laying down the invisible baggage that weighs the spirit down. It is the courageous realization that you are already whole and nothing external can complete you. Take a moment now to feel the sheer weight of what you are currently guarding, emotionally or physically. And in a quiet corner of your mind, give yourself permission to loosen your grip, just a fraction. Because the moment you stop fearing the loss of something external, you step into the truth of who you are, the unloosable self. Find your stillness, find your truth, find your freedom. This is Truthfully Free.